is TEHUT-NINE. Today we have a very, very special guest. Um, Live from the UK, Brother Virtue of Virtue TV. This is his first time on the platform. I've been on his platform several times, and I'm very excited to be hosting, being the host today, changing, roles for a second. I'm always the one answering the questions. Today, Virtue gonna be answering the questions. So this is M9NDtv, where we provoke thoughts and inspire thinking. Virtue, welcome. Please introduce yourself, and we'll pick up from there.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Thank you, family. Thanks, guidance to everyone that's listening. Hope you enjoy the show. I'm grateful to my brother for even inviting me on. It's like my second time even doing these type of things. Normally, I'm always on my platform, and I don't know how that goes, but I really enjoy having like being able to answer things and provoking minds to think too. So me and TEHUT-NINE, we always sort of lock in and then we just travel through. So it's gonna be a definite empowerment right now. So enjoy.
Indeed. Well, you've been doing YouTube videos now. How long you've been doing them?
Probably 2 years, but I've only been talking for a year.
Okay. And how did you get started? What kind of inspired you to start making YouTube videos?
Probably just listening to other people's YouTube videos, and I'm like, they're saying things, but they're saying things that I might say differently. So I said I might as well put my voice in it, put my opinion across, see who else connects.
Okay, that's dope, man. Just give me a little background on you, Virtue. I mean, I know you as Virtue. I don't even know if you have another name. So at this at this point, you're free to expound on all of that. Just give us a little background, like where you from, what kind of things you do as far as like work or art or whatever. You know what I'm saying? What's Virtue about?
Well, that's a whole dynamic story, but obviously I'm gonna give you the short version. Basically, I grew up in Trinidad and I came over to England around 10. But I was in England already, like, because my mum always lived over here. So I grew up in Trinidad, but I was always in and out of England growing up throughout like 2, 6 and all of these different ages. But anyway, when I came to England, I sort of got like sidetracked, like the whole glitz and glamour of the big city and them thing there. So I got lost into the road life and doing all of those type of things, getting involved in that, going down the wrong path in that way. I don't even know what like exactly woke me up into understanding that this isn't it. It was like I was just getting things and getting girls, getting everything, and I was like, nah, this isn't it though. Like nothing ever fulfilled me, like that. So then I started searching, and obviously my father, he's a Hebrew Israelite, so he was already always telling me about these things, and I already knew about the Bible, obviously growing up with my granny back in Trinidad, you know what I'm saying. So I already knew about all of these different things in the Bible, but I still never accepted it. So I had to just search out the truth. I didn't, as I'm saying, searching out the truth, I started to really look back on my life and reflect on my life. And that's what even awoke me up even to go on YouTube. And then I started hearing different people on YouTube, as I said, like Bobby Hemmett and like these different teachers like Phil Valentine, all the people that's known in it. So I started hearing what they're saying, and I'm saying, okay, I can reflect on that. Then I started building up my own type of mentality, talking to all the elders around me too. I think that's what helped me too. And my girlfriend at that time, like, you know how girls are, they'll sort of take you away from certain things. They're like, nah, man, I want you here. They're cooking for you and making sure everything's nice in your vicinity, so you don't even want to go outside of them things there. So all of them things that helped me too. So as I'm saying, in work-wise, I was, as I said, I was on the roads and all of that. So I weren't even job-wise mentality. I never really had no jobs, none of them things there. I started getting into photography and started doing photography. And that's when I started doing the filming. And then, as I said, I wasn't even doing filming to like do none of these type of videos. I was gonna do like music videos, you know, the same old route. And then I don't know what happened with that. I was like, nah, I'm not doing no music videos. I'm not doing that, man. I'm worth more than this. I must could just do something that's gonna enlighten people and break people off of the spells, like how we was talking about. Dispel all of these spells out here, because I see certain things are just leading down the same old cycle, same old cycle. And I'm like, nah, man, I must could break that, man. I must be smart enough to even like view whatever it is and then break it. Then I started getting involved, as I said, with this conscious community type of thing. Started talking to certain people on them, like Arm and Raw Squad and all of these type of people, and started talking to them. And I realized even certain things that they're saying, it's not even like to my understanding of like seeing the whole world. Because as I said, like I've been Egypt and I've been around like even Europe, Spain, France, been around the world, been America too. Like I stayed like 3 to 6 months in America. So I've even known New York and all of that. I was in Brownsville for like 3 months of that. So it's crazy. Like I've done, as I said, I've just done so many things and so many different, like, it's to me, I've lived so many different lives in just one little short time, you know, like that. But
Indeed.
as I said, I've gone by many different names too in them times there too. Like, so even like my name before, I was called Chucky. Before that, on the roads, I was doing other names and that. And then my original birth name for my mum is Marcus. So that's my original, like, that's my name. So
Marcus Messiah.
Yeah, you know, like that.
All right, that's what's up. So you kind of dipped and dabbed in different things that had your sojourn through the streets, found yourself interested in the photography, which led to you exploring the videos and, you know, coming to the point now where you have become a university. You have become a university, man, and you have so much knowledge and information that your channel, you know, is basically providing to whoever goes there, and that's Virtue TV. How did you come up with that?
The virtue, I don't even know, you know, it's like I was just meditating and I'm saying, hold on, there's only love out here. That's the only thing I ever heard was like love, 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 love. And on meditating on love, I realized love wasn't the only thing that's like at I don't even know what a grandioso scale, because love's that's grandioso. So I was like, virtue. It just came to me like that's the if there's love here, virtue's here. Virtue's separate, because you could like but you go to like so much different other scales of love, and but virtue is always just on a pure, that's it, like nothing ever intertwines with it. So I saw it as virtue is the highest form of love, sort of thing. So that's how I came up with even Virtue TV. I was like, yo, I'm trying to be the highest form of knowledge. I want to be open to every masses. I'm not going to try put my opinions on somebody else. I want to understand what you are. Like, I want to understand, because by understanding what you are, it helps me anyway. And me understanding me helps you. So it's vice versa. And that's how I came into like the I am you type of mentality. And then I met Waterman and he told me I am you. And I was like, that's what I was working towards anyway, because I was coming up with breed out racism. And that's like, it's so controversial. It's like such a controversial attack at it. Because when people hear it, it's going to stir up some type of emotion in some different way. And they're going to be either, what do you mean? Like, were you going to exterminate people? Like, you're going to kill everyone? Like, you know, like that. So it's that. I just wanted to separate myself. As I said, that's why I came up with the virtue and all of these things.
Okay. So Caribbean based, England bound, travel around, you know, the continent over there and been here, been there, and done different things. When was the last time you've been back to Trinidad? You know, where you were born.
2 years ago now. Still, yeah, 2 years.
Okay. What part of Trinidad you from?
I'm from Port of Spain, like, but area called Laventille. It's notorious though. Like a lot of people that know Trinidad, they'll know about Laventille still.
So you love your bacon, shark, and all of that.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
I went to Trinidad a couple of years ago. I think it was back in 2011 to do a film festival, and it was quite an experience, man. It's a beautiful place. People there are very pleasant, very nice island. I didn't get to go to Tobago though, but
Tobago's even more beautiful. It's like, whoa, white
really?
sand. Yeah, Tobago's. It seems like there's lots of parts of Tobago that's untouched. And there's a place in Tobago, like this is one of my things that I'll always remember in my head. There's a place where you go out on the ocean. I always tell people that too. Like you go out on the ocean in the middle of the ocean, but there's a place where the sand or whatever, the tides are high, so you could step out into the middle of the ocean. There's nothing around you, nothing, and you're in the middle of the ocean. Hey, it was amazing, standing up, like it's crazy. It was real crazy in the middle of the ocean. You take a boat out into the middle of the ocean, then jump out. The guy in like the driver, he's like, yeah, jump out on the left. I'm like, what? Jump out. Yeah, I ain't jumping out. I see everyone just diving out the boat. I was like, okay, that's what it is. Dived out, and it was, I think the water was up to probably my belly, and I was like 7 and 8 in them time there. So it was like, that's a proper spot. You know, like as an adult, you'll be just walking around natural. If you ever even see that from the shore too, you'll be thinking people's walking on water. It's crazy. It's real crazy. Tobago's beautiful.
Being a person that's traveled so much, you've seen a lot. You've seen probably vestiges or sprinkles of different groups of our people in some of the places you've been. You said Spain, you said, different places in Europe, you said obviously American, wherever else you've been. What's your viewpoint on the diaspora? What's your viewpoint on the African diaspora, on Black people spread out throughout the world? Like, how do you account for us being so many different places? Is it just slavery, or is it? What's your viewpoint?
I see, as you just said, in it, because we're spread out, we actually have separated, in it. So when I see, because I'll go, like when I was in Egypt, I was with people that look exactly like me. I'm in Egypt, whatever, I'm smoking, whatever, in it, and it's the same vibe as the somebody in Trinidad. Like it's the exact same. It's the exact same. It's not like there's different mentalities, but because we're separated, we're actually separated. Like that. Like if we was together, then we'll know how to move and we'll intermingle amongst the ones that we like. But it's not like we're separated, so we actually are separated. We think that they're not like us. Like as I say, when I went to America, I was seeing the same type of people that are in England. Like they're dressing the same, similar, because obviously high fashion. There's not really a lot, so they're dressing the exact same way how the stars in England are, and like they're the exact same. The speech, whatever you're getting out of them, is going to be the exact same level. Like, so I see it as it's just the separation is what it is.
What is it going to take for us to move from being so separate to being more unified? What do you think it would take to have that kind of impact, to bring the people together?
That's primarily why I came up with Breed Out Racism. Because in my head, the only way is to like forcibly have like children, family, and all of these things, forcibly bring this back into our understanding of why we're here in existence anyway, to give that opportunity on to somebody else.
Somebody else, okay. There's so much different groups. Like probably of our people that are trying to bring about some kind of change for for our community. You mentioned that your father was a Hebrew Israelite. You have Moors, you have RBGs, you have you have Christians, Muslims. You have so many different sects and groups of our people that all believe they have the solution. Which one of these groups do you most feel, are you more inclined to? I mean, I know you said your father was a Hebrew Israelite. Is that more of your inclination, or do you have a different viewpoint, different mindset?
Well, I definitely have a different mindset. You know that. I definitely, and my mindset is, I think they're all the same. Mm-hmm. I look at them all the same, and I find they all do have, like, what did you call it? Like, they all say how they have the ultimate purpose. Like they've got the ultimate purpose for humanity, and I think in different areas they do actually do that. So I don't condemn none of them in that way. I just don't like if you force it upon me. Like my father, as I said, he's a Hebrew Israelite, but he doesn't force his whole beliefs on me. Like if I tell him I don't believe in this or I don't believe in that, he's not going to go forcibly and be like, well, you have to believe in Yahweh or any of these things. He's always been open. And I think that's what even made me be able to be open too. And I'll be open with my children. I wouldn't want my children believe in what I believe just because I say this or that. But I know my things are based on experience. I deal with experience. So I'm experience based.
So it's more like what you've been through or what you're going through that drives like your motivation or your mindset. Okay. Obviously you're a thinker, and I love that about you, man. Because a lot of people, they're operating on what I call autopilot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Some of us are in manual control where we're the ones, basically driving the bus. And I think that is very, very important because, like, sometimes if you're pre-programmed to just, to function a certain way, sometimes you're functioning in contravention or contradiction to your own purposes. You know what I mean? To what you want to really happen. And that's probably where a lot of our issues come from. How do we break that mental like confusion? How do we break that up? How do we unify our thoughts to know to know what we're trying to do and how best to do it?
I think it's exactly in that the way how you phrase the question, in unifying our thoughts. I was saying to you the other day, I was asking somebody about, are they their thoughts? And in that, it's so dynamic because I have different thoughts, and I try to explain to people we have different thoughts coming from different bodies. I don't really like to go into esoteric sort of talk, but that's where it is. It's different bodies inside of us. So when we have different thoughts coming in, our immediate thought that we react to, that's not always necessarily the best thought. So that's why I try to explain to people, try to understand themselves and understand where these thoughts are coming from. So when you do get a thought, you have the agreement with all the other bodies. That's what we're going with, sort of thing. That's the best way I could sort of describe it, because it's always inner talking, it's always inner understanding, it's always inner meditation. And in that's how you'll be able to operate with other people, because the more you understand yourself, you're going to understand that's why they operated in that. Because as I said, we go through all of these different type of emotions. We're not special. No one's like mad special where they have a unique emotion or a unique understanding of something. We all are in this melting pot together, if you want to say, or this ecosystem that I keep on saying now. And in this ecosystem, we need to build up a resource-based economy instead of this fame-based economy. Like how you're saying, everyone's in a drone-like mentality because everyone's dedicated to somebody else, somebody else's living, somebody else's mind. So in that, you have to operate under a law or a culture to fit in, because that's how humans are. We want to be loved. That's why I said I chose my title throughout the love. I meditated on love, because that's what everyone wants. Every ego wants love. Everybody wants love. So that's how I was trying to go with it in my understanding. That's the best way I could really explain that, brother. I don't even know.
That is interesting. The way you just broke that down. What kind of reading materials do you normally like? Do you read?
Imagine, I used to read it. I used to read all of them, like from autobiographies. Like my mom, she's a advocate of reading. She has her library, like how I see all of the scholars, they have their library there. My mom's library is on their library level too. So I grew up around, as I said, when I was around my mom, I grew up around a lot of books and studying. Like she had everyone's autobiography. As I said, I like autobiographies too. So that's what I was mainly reading. So like Malcolm X's, Hitler's, whoever's autobiography I could really get a hand on, I'll sort of read that. Then I'll be reading maybe novels and all of that. But in reading like scriptures and all of these things, I weren't really on that. I never really, like, I probably spoke to a lot of esoteric people that put me onto understanding things outside of a box. And that's what really opened up my mind more. And that's how I started to teach myself, because they opened up my mind to even understanding things a little bit outside of the box. They never like nudged me there, but they gave me a steady push in that direction.
Oh, that's dope, man. I mean, I do a lot of reading myself. I don't read as much as I used to read either. I do meditate and just like, think about things in depth, which I'm sure you do as well. Who are some of the influences who are some of the people that have, you feel are great influences out there right now for the people? Like, like if you was to recommend some people, like who would you recommend to people who maybe, because sometimes I get these questions too. Like people hit me up on Facebook and say, what's a good book to read? What's a good some videos to watch or who to check out? You know what I mean?
I think, well, right now I listen to Leo from actualize.org. He's great. Like, it's like we're in sync. Like I put up something and 2 weeks later he'll have a video breaking down the whole every bit of history from it. And I'm like, this guy's super in sync. And I understand when you're in sync with the whole knowledge. That's why I say I don't even read no more, because I realize when you're in sync with the whole thing, there is no more, like, there's nothing hidden from you. And it sounds crazy, but it's like any answer, as you said, once you go in and you meditate, you'll be able to answer it, because you'll be able to figure it out, understanding it from that direction outwards. But before, we'll look at things from this way, like linearly that way, but we don't see it from the origin outwards. And that's what you'll be able to do in meditation. You'll be able to see it from the origin outwards. And I think that's the difference. But Leo from actualize.com, obviously Sandy Guru, and then I'll put up his thing on my channel. Seven Bomber, I always tell people, like, Seven, he's just a mad genius guy, man. I love him. I don't know. I want to meet them man there in real life, because I know certain conversations like how me and you have, I'm a person that likes to physically, I don't really deal with all of this, like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a physical person too. So it's them type of people I want to meet. Obviously, Brother Panic. There's a couple people. I even listen to the young guy. What's his name? Solace. His name Chase Jesus Christ or something. But Solace on YouTube. He's another good guy. I like people that stimulate my mind to even think. Even if it's something outrageous, I'll rather be able to analyze it like that. That's why, like, say, Young Pharaoh or somebody like that might help me. Certain times I'll be like, yeah, let me hear this. But it's now I'm starting to realize, as I said, I figure out when it's a storybook. Like, I don't mean storybook, but when it's coming from a book base or if it's coming from experience base. And as I said, that's why I was pushed into reading maybe autobiographies, because it was more experience-based knowledge. And I rather the experience-based knowledge than somebody telling me actual history, because history lie and history is told by the victors and history is always like manipulated. So by it being manipulated, I wasn't even feeling even, that's why I said I stopped reading in that way. But I know all of them shits there. Like, no one's gonna really pop up something that I don't really know, because I know all my history from whatever, Tudors to whatever. Like, I know white history and, well, whatever you call it, innit? I know black people's history and white people's history, if you want to call it that, innit? I know both sides too. So,
and being in England, right? What is it like for black people? What, give me a general overview. What is it like for black people? Is it just give me an overview. What is it like out there?
I would say it depends on how you are as a person. If you're a confident person, anywhere in the world's the exact same way for you, if you know what I mean. But if you're a person that is manipulated by society, then England's definitely a hard place. I'm not going to say it's an easy place, because England plays subtle mind tricks with you. It's I won't shake your hand. You know, like, it's little things, but little things to a being like me, it's effective. I could feel that whole thing. Like, I could feel you wasn't going to shake my hand before you even didn't shake my hand, sort of thing. So I could feel that you weren't going to do that. That kind of plays a trick on the being that I am, as I said, because as a being, we all just want that love or that connection, you know, like that. We all want to understand what our surroundings is and why it's moving like that, because we're all here to learn. So as I said, in England, it's a subtle thing. Unless you're really strong and you're really confident, I think it will be a hard thing to like grow up in England. And as I said, they're smart. They set up the whole societies that we even see in America, that because these things have all fallen off of like the English traditions, but they've just set in their own little ways. So if America's like messed up for any other race, England's definitely the exact same way, but they just do it subtle, as I said.
Oh, okay. So racism is definitely a issue that black people there are dealing with. How is like employment? How is the living situation? Are people segregated there? I mean, do you have what's the population size of the black people in the country compared to the other populations there? And I know like black, what we consider black in England, might be just people who look like us, people from the Caribbean mostly, right? Because you still have a lot of people from India and even from Northern Africa and other parts of Africa who may not count themselves as black.
Yeah.
Is that a reality? They call them Asians or whatever. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. There's definitely, well, as I said, it's not segregated like how when I was in America, I saw like segregation in my face. I never knew. So
black people and white people live in the same neighborhoods?
Same neighborhoods. Like, my neighbors could be white and they're white, upper class, you know, like snobby in that way. Where, as I said, because I come from the Caribbean, I knew my whole road. I knew everyone on my road. There was like, I could go into anyone's house. Like, I come from that type of understanding. Come in England, as I said, you could be next door to a white person. You're going to school with white people, you know, like that. So you're intermixing. There's no, like, as I said, there's not a racist barrier in your face. Like, if you're seeing it from far, you're gonna say, well, nah, this is harmonious. Like, every single race is in England or in London. I can't really talk for the whole of England still.
Do you have any black politicians there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. London and other areas, yeah. England, as I said, it looks like it's so subtle. The racism's real subtle, because you'll have all of these things. You'll have black politicians, like our mayor right now, he's from Asia, like what we will say Asian, but to us, he's black, but you know, like that, he's an Asian guy, you know, like that. So
Asian mean that he's from India?
I believe so. His name's Khan, so I'm not gonna prejudge, but I believe so.
So is the Asian population there larger than what you consider what people? I mean, because I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree. Like those people who they kind of separate with these other titles, calling themselves Asians and this and that, they're really black people. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to call themselves black, and some of us don't want to call them black. But if we're gonna play that game, what's the largest ethnic group out there? Is it the Caribbean, and is it Africans? Is it quote unquote Asians? What's the largest, ethnicity?
I would still say, yeah, it would be black, British, whatever, because it's black British. That's the mentality. People are black British, even though they have Caribbean heritage. Most of them have it even like really intertwined into that, or even mixed themselves too deeply into that. So they don't know their actual culture. But because of the stigma, you have to claim that in it. So you have to claim black in it. But they're really British. So they're British mentalities too. So I don't even know, like,
what's the history of the black people that are there? Were they brought there on slave ships, like the ones that that they claim that people in America were, or were they already there? What
there's three generations. I mean, three types of that. So there was the ones that was here before all of the slave ships and all of that. So there was blacks here, and then there was the slaves. Also, they also came, but they were allowed to mix with the original type of blacks that was here. Then there's the ones that came freely and invited. So that was called Ring Rush. That was the latest one. That was like probably the 50s or something like that. And that was an invitation by the Queen to come here and all that.
So they sent. So I remember. I think I read something about that. They sent ships to the Caribbean islands or the colonies they had, the Commonwealths, and brought scores and scores, hundreds, if not thousands, of people, black people from outside of England into England. And why do you think they did that? What was the reason for doing that?
Well, it is work, isn't it? It's work. They needed more people because you remember when you have a hierarchy, you have a sort of quota to keep to. And in that quota, they had to make sure that these people always felt better than the other people. So they'll invite these people into your country, and now they're the slave class, and then you could still keep that quota going internally, even though it's not happening externally, because in reality, everyone got enslaved in them times there. Everyone, the whole world. They never really, it became more of a family based. If your family was of nobility, then you was able to prosper. But if your family wasn't of nobility, you're down with everyone else. That's why I said you'll have every single race living right next to you. It's all intertwined. I can marry of every single race willingly now too. It's not like maybe back in the day where Indians you couldn't marry outside of the race, or Africans marry outside of the race, or Muslims couldn't marry outside of the race. England's a lot open in that way. As I say, gay marriages is even open. So every type of relationship or whatever type of action you feel necessary in life, you could sort of provide that type of thing in England.
Hey, I've always been curious, right, about how the people in England feel about people in America, being that America has kind of propped itself up now as one of the most powerful countries in the world, one of the richest countries in the world, and it was formerly a colony of England. How do the people in England feel? I mean, sometimes you hear sentiments like anti-American sentiments coming out of people in Europe and different parts of the world, and it's not just because people just hate America. Like sometimes Americans try to make it. It's a lot of it is based off of just sometimes that the way people from America carry on and make everybody else feel like they're not anything if they're not American. But I've always been curious, how do does the people in England, like especially the Europeans who look and say, man, that America is basically the people that we kicked out of here, the prisoners and all these other people we kicked out of here, and and look at what they've done, look at what they've built. So America is kind of like a stepdaughter or stepchild of England.
Oh yeah, yeah, obviously in history. So that's how, yeah, the general consensus will be like, innit? It will be the exact same for Australia. Like England, when you're like that sort of empire, the British Empire was such a large empire. They look at a lot of countries. It's not just America, like, oh, well, we gave birth to them, they're great now. Nah. Like a lot of these countries, that's how you're gonna see them, like Hong Kong and China and all of those places. Like that's how you're gonna see them, innit? You know, like you're gonna be patriotic, just like our Americans are very patriotic to their country. Well,
But
as I said earlier on, you're gonna be British.
it's so funny
You're gonna
now
be black
because
British.
like the pride that you can take from claiming all these different places that England was spread across and had dominions and colonies and commonwealths and everything. Right now, these same places could turn around and probably file suit for the exploitation that took place, whether it's in Trinidad, whether it's in Jamaica, whether it's here, whether it's Australia, whether it's India, China, right? There's been a lot of exploitation that's taken place, and England has basically became rich from a lot of that exploitation. And I've seen, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen a couple countries or islands even like pushing that sentiment that what I mean, they want reparations, right? Is that some what is the vibe on that in England from the people, the black people there? Do they feel like England should pay reparations to some of these places, or how do you feel about it?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna answer the second way part round anyway. But I'm saying, yeah, obviously I feel that because I've gone to the reparation march for the past 3 years over here, and I definitely feel that there's supposed to be some sort of repair happening, like some sort of, and I just don't know how it will happen because as we were saying earlier on, we're all divided. So we don't even have a unified name that you could even give it to even say, because if you give it to Muslims, then all the other ones gonna be saying, well, we want it. So it's like, who do you even give it to? So it's that sort of query right now. I think that's where it is, because they know that they have to sort of repair what's been damaged. Like they know it, but it's who do they give it to? They've damaged us so much. Like you're psychologically so damaged. You think you're from Jamaica. Like that's how I think I'm from Trinidad. That's how psychologically damaged I am. So I'm patriotic to Trinidad, and that's not even my people. Them, like that. Or where am I from in Africa? Like that. Because everyone's not from the same area in Africa too. So it's like, like they've damaged it so much. It's so mashed up. I think they're just scared to even go into those type of talks, where obviously, as I said, in their mind, they've done what they're doing, like inviting these people over, all of these different things, including them into their governments, including them into their system, where they've tried to do everything so subtle. So at the same time, it seems like, because look, the biggest stars in England right now, I would still say it's probably like the grime artists and the black boys, like that. It's still them, like they're the ones that's getting all the views right now. So it's like, I don't know, like I think that's where it is. It's all the subtleness. They knew how to gently say, well, we're giving back, like we are sorry. Like you can see that we're sorry, we're including you. Look, Harry, he's supposedly gonna be marrying a mulatto, a light-skinned person. Her mum is definitely dark skin, like that. So at the wedding, the mum's definitely gonna be in a picture with the queen, like, and all of these things, and it's gonna be a darker skinned person. Definitely if they get married, like all of these things. So they seem like they're giving back slowly and surely, but they know they can't just give back, because then the whole structure falls. If you let into one, you're gonna have to let into all of them, and then they'll just pull down your whole structure. So it's the hierarchy. It's that the system has to be maintained.
How do black people there feel about the queen? Is there a general respect, or people just don't give a f about her?
It depends on who you're talking to. A lot of black people, as I said, they're patriotic, so they'll definitely be black British, innit? So once you say you're black British, you're holding that title of the queen, sort of thing, innit? The British Empire and all of these type of things is all a representation of the crown and the queen. So the crown and the queen's always going to be important to most people over here. You know, like we talk about pounds. Like, even though Americans might be the top in class, but the pound's still the strongest. You know, like it's still that mentality always, and it's always going to be that mentality while you have a queen.
The history of the Moors, do you know anything about it?
I know a lot of the history, as I said, from Spain and all of those things there. And obviously the Moorish history is undeniable in England. You go, like, has Hidden Colours showed, didn't it? You'll go around and you'll see the Black and Moor pubs and all of these type of things. And a lot of people in England are called Moors and all of these, like, you know, like it's a common name and it's a common thing in this society. So it's not hard to find out about the Moors or any of the Queen Charlotte and all of these different archetypes, because they was running the throne at these things. So it depends, like, as I said, it depends on how much you wanted to indulge maybe. But I know quite a lot about the Moors. As I say, I know I've got a friend that he's got tons and tons of pictures blown up, official pictures of the royal family. So I know quite a lot about them. I don't even know. Oh,
Okay. All right. Well, the Moorish history is like, a lot of times people always look at it as just something that happened in Spain, and it's interesting that you talked about the different vestiges of it that still are lingering, throughout England and some of the other places. One of the things I like about England when I came out there was the speakers. What is it called? Speakers Circle or Hyde Park?
Speaker's Corner.
Speakers Corner. Yeah, I like that. You ever go out there?
Yeah, man, of course.
Okay. I mean, like, I'm talking about going out there and you cheering.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, videos on that. I want to see that, man.
I got 50 people saying, "You're crazy. You're crazy.
You're crazy." Do you have it on your channel?
Yeah, I have, because obviously it's me doing it, so I can't film myself doing it, sort of thing. But I've definitely challenged where, as I said, I've had 50 people surrounding me, the whole Muslims, and they're telling me I'm crazy and I'm deluded. What do I mean? Everyone's God and everything's God. I've had it, trust me. I like that sort of thing anyway. I like that intellectual sort of challenge.
Yeah. So the debate thing, they have on this side they do a lot of debates. Who on that side, I guess, would be like the Sarnetta on this side. Sarnetta, like, despite what anybody has to say about him, he has created an avenue, a lane for himself, and done some historical things. I know there's a guy over there, Kalam. Yeah, he does the Titans TV.
Yeah,
that's pretty popular. I like that too. Sometimes I watch his channel as well. Do you guys ever do any collaborations?
Yeah, man. I linked up with Kalam in the beginning, like when he first was starting and all of that. Obviously, if I go down Speaker's Corner, cause I even was the first man to bring him down Speaker's Corner in that way, like that. So I even showed him, yo, man, you need to come down Speaker's Corner and do it. But obviously, I don't like, I help out anyone. It's like, like that. I don't really watch no face. So I even told him about Speaker's Corner, and that's how he even set up that type of platform down there at the Speaker's Corner. So I definitely link up with him and all of these things. As I say, I link up with anyone, innit? Once you're about that thing, I'm linking up.
Indeed. I mean, I like what you guys are doing over there, man. Any books, any music, anything, any products
Who,
on you
me?
from you?
Nah, and personally, I haven't got no products right now. I'm gonna try. I'm trying. I'm in the process of writing a book, but I'm not even trying to really put that out in there. I want the book there, then I'm gonna sort of talk about it. But yeah, I'm in the process of writing a book right now. I've obviously my passion really is to do movies. That's my real actual passion because I've got 5 movies in my head. It's been burning, but I know I need the right production. You know, like because I know the movies that I'm about is just they're so I don't know. It's like sort of Matrix type of level in my head. Like that's how I see it because it's undeniable. You can't deny how it is. You know, like
Have
I'm
you
gonna
seen any?
show it
Have you
from
seen any of my movies?
I've seen only one of them still. Only
Which
one. I don't know.
Bashment?
Gangster Talk. Yeah, whatever. What is it
Yeah,
called?
Bashment,
Is it Bashment?
or what goes around?
I think it was Bashment then, man. I thought it was called Gangster Talk.
What's called what?
I thought it was called Gangster Talk.
No, I think Gangster, that's something else. I have 3 films that I did. One called Foreign, which is, I haven't really done much with that one since it came out. It's so loud and we just never repressed it up because it was our first project. It wasn't produced at the highest quality, but the story was good and people loved it. And the second one was called Bashment, The Fork in the Road, which was, better production, a story about a group of guys coming of age and just dealing with like, all the different dynamics of a friendship or, what I mean, where you have different influences pulling on different people and, the choices and the consequences, that come with them. And the last one, What Goes Around, is a relationship piece which deals with HIV and, just raising that awareness among Caribbean people using film, using a entertaining film to kind of like marinate the messaging, you know what I'm saying, so it doesn't seem too preachy. So you got to check those out, man. This is What Goes Around right here. And I believe a couple copies might be available over there. I was trying to do distribution through different people, but a lot of my films have been bootlegged, even on that side, man. So I definitely gonna encourage you, man, to go ahead and push forward with that. Don't just keep it in your head. You know what I'm saying? Because your head is gonna always be filling up with ideas, and you might have 5, and before this month is done, you have 5 more. You see what I'm
Nah,
saying?
not on the
So
not the movies that I'm like. I'm not dealing with. I ain't dealing with none. I don't even know how to even explain it. It's just an origin story about. So it's like a biblical account.
yeah, but write it down. Get a script
Yeah,
written.
I've written. Yeah, I've written,
Yeah,
brother.
get a script written, and then start where you are, man. You ain't got to worry about some of the stuff that you sometimes we worry about certain things, and it becomes like a stumbling block rather than a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of stops you from proceeding because you're thinking, I need this, and all you need is your will. You know what I
That is
mean? Just flex your will and manifest it, man. As
that is true.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is
that's
true.
real.
Obviously, everything's in timing, though, innit?
Yeah,
Everything's in timing because in reality, I came out of nowhere, like like no one. There's no background to me in it. Like my uncle died the other day. He was famous, but like there's no background to me. There's no way you could really trace and say like with other people, they're like cousins with this person or this is Bobby Hebbert's their uncle, and like all of these type of things.
well, you're a pioneer. Then in that case, you're a pioneer. You're blazing the trail that your future generations are gonna they'll hopefully look and say, damn, my uncle, my father, my whatever. He was a filmmaker, he was a educator, he was a revolutionary. You understand what I'm saying? So you're a pioneer in that regard. A lot of us are pioneers, man, and that sometimes it's a beautiful thing to be the one to blaze the trail because you've seen other people do it, and you know, and here you are. You are gonna be the first of your kind. So I encourage you, man. But I like to focus on solutions. That's why I ask some of the questions I ask, because I really like to focus on solutions. We could talk about the problems all day, you know, and there's so many problems, man. So many problems here, so many problems there, so many problems all over the world. And the reality of it is, like you say, you know, you like to base things off of experience. You like, you know, rather than just go off what people get out of a book, you go off, you know, the experiences that people go through and you go through. And so many people are having so many different experiences right now in the world. I mean, we have we have a lot of issues that we're dealing with as a people. And I feel like right now is the time for us to step up and begin to bring about solutions and not just keep on focusing on the problem, keep on focusing on our struggle. Like our vision has have to update. You know what I mean? We have to have a bigger vision now. You know what I mean? We gotta stop looking at just the problem, and talk about it, you know, forever. Because people before us talked about the problems. You know what I mean? We are supposed to be the ones that are bringing in the solution. So how do we do that, man? How do we really like? I mean, and it doesn't. And I'm saying we talking to you and also talking to myself. Like, how do we begin to like do it? Do we just do it, or do we wait for a sign in the sky, or what is stopping us?
As I say, obviously, it's all about pushing like I'm pushing the IMU. So IMU, the more awareness people get of IMU, the more awareness they get. Okay, what does that mean? And then I heard like other people say similar type of things like reflection. I love it. I'm like, yes, I love it. So IMU reflection. Now they're coming together. So another person, then they're gonna hear other things that's similar, and everyone's saying the exact type of thing, and that's the only way it can build. Because as I said, we are all separated. So once we all realize, hold on, we're all here for the exact same reasons, that's where it's about. Like, it's just awaken people to understand, getting them out of their own individuality and their own childish type of mentality. That's where it is right now. Everyone's not trying to take responsibility. Once you take responsibility for your own actions, and I make my life better, then you make your life better, then everyone will naturally get their self or their gears going, you know, like that. So that's where it is, because no one's really going to be able to change the world. Like, everyone's thinking that they're going to be Jesus Christ out here, and everyone wants that type of, everyone wants to be the person that helped out everyone else. Like, and that's not the thing. Like, that doesn't make no sense. And it's never made sense, because once you stick your head out like you know more than other people, normally people hate and they'll kill you.
So the smart guys get killed first. Then some of those smart guys like Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Elijah, Noble Drew Ali. The list is a long list. And that's not to discourage people from being smart. It's just the reality that, look, you know, you got to be smart, but you got to be strategic, and you got to know that, look, what, you know, the change that these guys was trying to bring about, it had challenges. And maybe that's why it's so difficult for just the average Joe, because, you know, we kind of get locked in our heads. You know, we think things, and then we think that because it sounds good in our own heads, it's gonna you know, sound good to other people too, until somebody challenges it, or just doesn't. You know how people are, they just don't care. They tell you, I don't want to hear that nonsense, man. I'm hungry. Are you going? How you going to tell me something that I could make some money with? You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's different kind of challenges out there. But I think that, you know, we all got to keep on pushing it. All got to keep on building to meet or to make the realities that we, you know, we want to see manifest. And I think that what you're doing with Virtue TV, with you know, many of the activities that you're involved in is necessary, man. It's very necessary. Do you feel like you appreciate? Do you feel an appreciation for you know, the work that you've already done, or do you feel unappreciated? Do you feel like people appreciate what you have to offer? That's what I want to ask.
I believe so. Like, deep down, obviously I still get negativity, and I still get these type of people that would try to throw me off. And some people are even close to me where I wouldn't even expect somebody that close to me, you know, like to even try throw me off. But most, like I could see in reality, like I could see certain comments, I could see certain things. So those things there obviously will touch you. You know, like somebody from New Zealand's texted you saying, yo, what you said was really powerful, and it's real, like I could really understand it, and they grasp it, and they're all the way in New Zealand. So once you get these type of things, you know, it always will help you like keep on pushing, sort of thing. Because I know what I'm saying is so harsh. It's like what you're saying will be like, well, I don't even care. Like, I don't care what you're talking about. What do you mean I am you? That's stupid. Get out of here. That's the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. So, you know, like, I understand that, and I have to take that anyway. Because like, what, I don't know. I'm kind of mad. As I say, I listen to Seven Bomber and them type of people, and they tell me is that they're carrying the whole earth. I understand that sounds real crazy, but that's how my understanding. There's certain people on the planet right now that's carrying the level. Because if they wasn't here, the earth would just say, all right, cool, let's just done. You know, it's just like how we was explaining about the body. Heart still beating, and it's like, yo, I know the legs infected, but I'm still gonna be on. Like, I'm still gonna be on until it gets hold of the heart. And I believe we're the heart of the planet right now.
The heart of the planet. That's deep. That is very, very deep. And if the heart dies, the whole body dies.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're trying to fight against. Because restart, as I tell people, it's not about like life, because life's always always happening. But it's, if you really want to be an individual, this is the best time to start being it, because you're going to be able to be creative. It's like, as you said, with the money, people's objective is the money instead of what the money could like what it is, like what you want. Like, instead of the car, they'll go for the money, like, and then go for the car. It's like, go straight for the car. Like, go straight for making the car, and then you will feel something. When you achieve something, you feel something. Like, if my channel gets to a mad success, like how we talk about these people, Sarnetta and all of that, like, or even CNN, because I'm trying to go big. I ain't trying to just stay on them type of levels. I want big things. That's why I don't stop off, you know, like that. I say on my channel, I want it to be like Vice, because that's the only channel I can really see that's dedicated to showing the whole world. Everyone shows their own little quarter. I don't deal with quarter. I deal with the whole globe. So when I get my money up, I'm going out to New Zealand. I'm going out to Hong Kong. I'm going to China. I'm going to all of these different places. Cambodia. I'm going there, and I'm filming. I'm doing show to show the whole world, because we need to fall back in love with the whole world. We're not falling in love with the whole world. In this drone mentality, we've taken a little house, or we've taken a car, and that's our satisfaction. A house and a car, a chain and a girl. You know, like these little things instead of the whole thing. And we're missing out on the whole planet. So I want to show people the beauty of the planet again, and the power of the planet. That's what my brother Waterman comes in, because he talks about the power of the planet. He said there's no weapon form that is more powerful than the planet. So we have to show people that all of these fears, all of these things that we think are not in abundance, they actually are, and it's endless abundance of it. So we need to tap into it, like Nikola Tesla and all of these type of people. They tapped into the energy that's just in the air right here. So we need to learn how to do things again. Like, we need to be individuals if that's what we want to do. Stand up on our own 2 feet. Be self-sufficient. So these are the only things I always push. Self-sufficient, learning about yourself, helping out everyone, guiding. That's why I keep on telling people guidance. I don't like using the word peace, because I think peace is for dead. Like, when you're dead, that's peace. Like, I'm always moving. I'm never at peace. My mind's never at peace. I'm always moving. I can shut down my mind and slow down my thoughts to a minimum of maybe 3-4 thoughts, but it's still a hard thing. So I'm always moving. My head's always pounding. As I tell people, I'm heterogeneous. So I'm always going in between both hemispheres of my head. Bam, 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 bam. I'm always meeting myself like that. But as I say, certain things I say, I'd have to break it down one-on-one with people because it's just a front, like, you know, like I'm just saying words, you know, like
Yeah,
that.
that's positive, man. That's real heavy stuff right there. But you know, you got a lot of brothers and sisters, comrades even, or you know, troopers, people that I guess you could link arm with, and you know that there are people out here who share the same sentiments, even if they don't necessarily agree with everything that you push, or you may not even agree with some of the things they push or say or whatever. But we all are here together, and one of the things we have to do is actually start doing what we can to start building that bridge, man. So you're over there in England, I'm over here in the US. There are people in the Caribbean, there's people in Asia, there's people in Africa, right? We need to start expanding our platforms, like you say, and do an exchange of like ideas and interests. So just like the other day, you guys had Sarah Suit and Steady over there, which was great. You know what I'm saying? It'll be good to bring some of the brothers from over there over here as well. You know what I mean? And bring some other brothers from over here, over there, and other places, the Caribbean. I have an interest in building a school in Jamaica, and bringing some of the people that I have relationships here in America and other parts of the world to go to Jamaica or go to the Caribbean, and to start bringing that kind of, because as much sometimes I think we think that everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows some of the things that we think are just basic knowledge or basic understandings, and it's not necessarily so. There's a lot of people, even right here in America, right there in England, where you are, they're clueless. They're still wrapped up in Christianity, still wrapped up in some of the dogmas, and some of the things that people would say is just straight foolishness. But it steps in stages to this. And like you say, some things it's just about timing. You know what I mean? So the seed may already be in them, that's going to grow into a mighty tree. They might grow into a mighty Marcus Garvey, a mighty Malcolm X, something like that. But right now, the seed the root hasn't really, like, stretched out far enough for them to get all the nourishment they need to burst through the soil and come up through the surface to know who they are and what they can do. So we have to look at everybody as a work in progress, because we are a work in progress ourselves. And even though we are here right now, there's much more traveling, much more journey, much more for us to uncover and discover. And with that being said, man, give us some parting words of wisdom, encouragement for some of the people, young, old, black, white, male, female, whatever, and just whoever is listening to this and may watch it in the future. Give us some words of encouragement or advice or whatever for these people.
All I can say to anyone is just try love yourself. Try open up yourself to understanding other people. That's our main thing right now. I said that in the beginning of the year. That's our main thing. Our main aim right now is about understanding. We're all here learning. Everyone's on the same level. We're on the same plane, whatever you like to call it. We're on the same plane of existence. If I see a car over there, you see a car over there. Let's know how to interact. Let's not put somebody in the way of harm. Let's try guide each other through this. And that's my main message to anyone in this existence with me right now. And I say live guidance and love.
Yeah. Oh, that being said, man, I want to thank you so much, Virtue. I know it wasn't a long talk, but it was powerful, man. You shared a lot of jewels, and we got to do this again. You're more than this is your second home, and anytime you want to jump on and come share it with the family, just hit me up. You already know.
And it's vice versa, brother. And yes. I'm gonna put this video up on my channel as you put it up in there. So it's me.
So go ahead and let people know how they could contact you on social media, and make sure y'all subscribe to Virtue TV, man, because he has a lot of information on that channel, man. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing, some of the stuff that's on there, and something just about for everyone. I mean, He talks with a lot of different people. He's not just a one-dimensional person. This brother here is very, very brilliant, and I applaud you, man. I really do. I applaud you for real. You know, keep it up. So, Virtue TV, make sure y'all go subscribe.
Yeah, man. Virtue TV, just stay having fun. I'm Virtue TV on Twitter, Virtue TV on Instagram, Virtue TV on SoundCloud too. So there's other separate shows on SoundCloud too. So check us out. Thank you, family. Thanks again, TEHUT-NINE.
All right, peace out.